This segment of Delmarva Life is brought to you by State Farm Insurance.
Well, many of us have pretty routine lives. You get up in the morning, go to work, and come home, all while collecting a paycheck to provide a home and food for yourself and your family.
But what if something happened? You got hurt and couldn't go to work. Who would pay the bills? You might think this wouldn't happen to me, but consider this. The Social Security Administration reports more than 1 in 4 20-year-olds will become disabled at some point before they retire. The U.S. Census Bureau reports more than 37 million Americans are classified as disabled. And the Life Foundation reports 25% of working Americans would have financial problems within a week if they lost their paycheck.
That's why no matter how healthy you are, no matter how safe you are, you want to make sure you're prepared if the unexpected happens. And here to tell us how is Hunter Emery, State Farm Insurance Agent in Georgetown. Hunter, thanks for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you for having me.
You know, more and more people are living paycheck to paycheck, and there's actually a way to protect those paychecks.
Absolutely. It's a tool called disability insurance, and what that does is give you insurance for your paycheck, in a sense.
So explain to us, what exactly is disability insurance?
What disability insurance is, it allows you to have coverage in place should you become hurt in an accident or disabled or from an illness. And a lot of people don't realize it, but almost 90% of the disabilities in the United States today are due to illness, not so much an accident. So that's a huge statistic. Think about cancer, heart disease, or a heart attack in that regards.
Wow.
So it's basically replacement income.
Absolutely. Replacement income for you should you become hurt in an accident or disabled.
Now, there are different types of disability insurance, right?
Correct. There's different types out there that are available. Each one's a little bit different. It's almost like a fingerprint. There's so many different kinds available to you. But there's short-term and long-term disability. Short-term will cover you from a short amount of time with a small elimination period, whereas long-term disability can cover you for up to the age of 67 should you become severely disabled.
And the time varies depending on the situation.
Correct. Each company is a little bit different as far as what they offer. So you need to contact your HR director that you have through your benefit plan, or talk to your local State Farm agent to find out what type of plan you may have or might be available to you.
And we have some other types of insurance that we're going to actually look at that we have on the screen there. Tell us about these.
Okay, so the first one's called disability income insurance, and that's your basic disability coverage. Should you become hurt or ill, it can step in to offset your loss of income due to that situation. The second one we have is called a mortgage disability insurance policy. Now what that is, that'll help cover your mortgage should you become hurt or disabled in an accident. It'll make up for that difference there available to you. And finally, you have individual credit disability insurance. Now what that is that will give you coverage for, say for instance, you have an auto loan. You can add that to your auto loan to give you coverage to take care of that while you're disabled or hurt.
And there's a couple terms people should know when shopping for disability insurance.
Absolutely. The first one's called elimination period. So what that is that's the time between you becoming hurt and the benefit kicking in for you. That can range from a week up to almost 180 days. The second one is the actual benefit that you receive. So that's the amount of benefit that comes into you for that loss of income through your policy that you have available.
Now, disability insurance is not workers' compensation, correct? There's a difference.
Absolutely. There's a distinct difference there. First off, workers' compensation is something that is available to you through your employer or through a business. And if you're hurt on the job, it'll kick in to offer coverage for you. The second one, and the other difference is disability insurance from a personal standpoint, something that's purchased on an individual basis. Now, that will cover you from not only on the job, if you're hurt at work, it can kick in and be coupled with workers' compensation. But in addition to that, it'll cover you if you're hurt off the job, whether you're on the playground with your children and you break your ankle. It can step in and offer coverage there. In addition to that, it'll cover you from an illness standpoint as well.
Is it generally a longer benefit?
It can be, yes, as far as the coverage that's available through the personal disability policy, yes.
All right. Now, when evaluating the chances of disability, people also need to be looking about other sources of available funds. Explain.
Exactly. You know, you just can't count on disability insurance or workers' compensation, what's offered through your employer as a benefit to cover for your loss. You have to have different buckets out there in that regards. First off, you need to think about what is offered from my employer's standpoint. What type of coverage do I have? How much benefit do I have available to me? And what's the elimination period on that? Second off, you need to think about, you know, what do I have as far as my savings account? If I have a larger elimination period, how much do I have in my savings account to cover for that? Think about this. If you were to save 10% a year in regards to in your savings account, and you become disabled for 1 year and don't have enough coverage there, you could extinguish your whole that 10% you saved out in 1 year that you saved for over 10 years.
And then Working spouse?
Working spouse from a financial and emotional standpoint. Because you think about it, can your spouse handle covering you for up to 1 year if you're disabled? Can they take care of that financial burden? But also emotionally, can they step in to cover to be not only your companion, the parent for the child, but also be your personal nurse in that regards? That's a struggling issue that can be there for a lot of families.
And then there's Social Security, right?
Finally, Social Security coverage. A lot of people don't realize it, but you can't qualify for Social Security benefits until the 5th month of disability. In addition to that, the requirement requires that you be disabled for up to 12 months. And a lot of people don't realize it, but there's a statistic out there that you can be declined for up to 2 times before you qualify for Social Security benefit.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
So it's an ongoing process as far as trying to get that benefit available to you.
This is stuff that everyone needs to know. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Thank you,
Hunter
Hunter.
Emery, State Farm Insurance. And to learn more from State Farm about disability insurance, go to delmarvalife.com and click on the Show tab. Still ahead on Delmarva Life, ask anyone who has tried starting a business if it's easy, and they'll tell you it's not. We'll learn the ups and downs of being your own boss, plus what you need to keep in mind throughout the process.
And speaking of businesses, more and more are falling victim to cyber attacks, which end up costing thousands of dollars, but consumers can also be the victim of circumstance. Entrepreneur and TV star Bill Rancic tells us how we can protect ourselves. Delmarva Life will be right back.